Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar news update video. So this is a kind of weird piece of news where it's somewhat significant, but we don't get to sort of see what the actual news actually is. So I don't know if anyone was really like hyping this up as like something where like we'd actually hear anything about Avatar Studios, but CinemaCon 2023 is happening, and there was a kind of a Paramount kind of panel basically where they talked about some of their announcements. Now the immediately I suppose we have to address the whole idea that this is this kind of like industry event. Fans don't get to attend this or anything like that, so basically information gets like text reported like out of this, but none of the visuals or anything like that, first looks, actually get shown, and that is the kind of point here. Now, what is the Avatar stuff here? So we go through all this right down to the bottom. So it's still untitled animated Avatar The Last Airbender film, and here's what the this is discussing film, what they have to say. Paramount gave a first look at what the main cast looks like for their upcoming animated Avatar The Last Airbender film. It was only a single image reveal, with Aang, Katara, Sokka, Zuko, Toph all present in their adult age in battle poses in front of a snow mountain. The group look like they're in their late 20s to early 30s, and their costumes are 100% accurate to the hit animated Nickelodeon series. Zuko is the only one that looks different, with an extra long wild ponytail. So again, we do not get to see this image, but we get a description of it. So it's a very weird thing where it's like they basically showed the perfect teaser thing for this movie at this really early point in the game, in that, look, we are still like 2.5 years, give or take, away from this actually coming out. Like, but yeah, 2.5 years pretty much exactly, because we're in April, it's October, it's October 10th, we're late April here, but you get the idea here. We're still a long time away. But it still applies. Like, if the reason we're not getting the image like publicly is because it's too early, it still feels like it should apply here at this industry event that is still like allowed to be reported on publicly to a certain degree. So I think it just creates this frustration of like, this is now the second time with Avatar Studios that this has happened, where at one of these film festival type things, people there have got to see some sort of early preview Avatar stuff that we just get to speculate about what a theoretical image looks like. I don't really know what the deal is here with this, because look, from a fan perspective, I'm a bit frustrated by the fact that this is the way that this is going to go. And then you wonder, like, are we going to get to see this image like soon? Does this mean like Comic-Con, they'll show this image to us, like SDCC, NYCC, or is this just a super early preview because it's industry people at this thing? But at the very least, it shows to me a severe lack of kind of care about like knowing that this would eventually come out public, that fans would see it, that they're not really doing anything to like, appeal to fans. And I think the biggest thing that shows that is this Instagram post. Official Avatar The Last Airbender Instagram posted this. The journey of Avatar continues in theaters October 10, 2025. Now, they posted about this. Now, keep in mind, we've known the date of this movie since November last year. So this is not news, us knowing when the movie is actually coming out. Why did they post about this today? The reason they posted about this today is because this news is coming out from sources, it's being reported on. This was actually talked about a little bit at this Paramount event. That's the reason this post effectively happens. But this doesn't address the fact that an image was shown publicly, while also reiterating the date. And all we get is just, hey guys, remember the date. That's just a frustration, just knowing that there is this like literal teaser image. It's not like you maybe understand if they showed like some super early footage or something like that that's like literally just meant to be a kind of proof of concept. They don't want it out there publicly. But it seems like they have a proper official piece of like key art, teaser art for this thing that seems like the perfect first image to release. and we're just waiting like, hey guys, are you going to talk about this? And just because of how rarely they do address Avatar Studios, I think it just adds to the frustration that it's been, 2 and a bit years since Avatar Studios, since we knew about it. And in that time, we've not really seen or heard much at all about what's going on. And yes, it's still a long way to go until this actually comes out. But when moments like this happen, and we're just as fans sitting over here like, hey, you gonna like talk to us ever? I get the frustration, because I don't feel we as fans should be forced to have to sort of almost explain to ourselves, explain away for the company effectively, like what the reasons are for why this isn't released publicly. Because like, we don't know what their marketing strategy is. They don't seem to have any marketing. Like, Avatar Studios barely exists to most Avatar fans because there has been so little commentary about this, and that, this official account is still the Avatar The Last Airbender account. We still haven't figured out the name of the franchise or anything like that. This movie is still going by Untitled, but they showed something about it here? I don't get it. And if the excuse is that it's too early, well, why was it not too early to show this group of people at this event? Like, I just don't get it. And especially when it comes after the whole Annecy Film Festival thing, where they also seemed to show some sort of an image. I guess it was even more basic back then, but they showed something. And that's something we've been speculating about for a while. What's the deal here? I'm just confused from a sort of kind of community management point of view here about what's happening. It makes me a little bit concerned that even when we maybe get a little bit more going on Avatar Studios, that there is still going to be this huge distance between official and the fans. And I'm not sure if that's going to close at all. I'm not sure how, ultimately, how much has Avatar Studios changed things. And we've not really seen any evidence of anything in particular kind of changing for the better for us as fans. And this post is the contrast between this and even just being described what was shown is a huge kind of difference, because this gets people excited, but it's also like, when are we going to get to see that? Now, is there anything to say about this? Okay, so it's the main cast, but obviously no Suki. So it's not full Team Avatar, and that does need to be addressed. I think, that is kind of notable in that it's suggesting in some ways that Suki is not being treated as part of the main cast in some way. That, I get it, these are our core main characters. Suki joined a little later on, but if you can keep the Fire Lord as part of Team Avatar, I think you can keep Suki as part of Team Avatar as well, and it would have been a really nice thing to just show that that character is still considered important, because I don't know, until we find out the details about what's going on, Suki being excluded here feels a little weird, even if it is just the first teaser for the movie. The age ranges late 20s, early 30s, when what we got was maybe suggesting slightly earlier, but again, this is people trying to estimate where the characters' ages are on the basis of an image, and you never know for sure exactly how old they look, and obviously it doesn't seem like they were particularly told what that is. They think the outfits look accurate, so that's good. Zuko has the extra long wild ponytail. Now, I'll bring up the old friend poster here just to have a quick look about this. I think most people interpret this as being this is the characters probably a little bit aged on past where we're going to be in this movie. Probably in or around 10 years after that, give or take. Maybe it depends what exact age range they're going for the new movie, but this is after that. So the characters, I think, are going to look a little younger than this, but still, you get across the idea. These outfits really fit. You wonder, is Republic City, what's the status of it going into the new movie? Toph, we assume, might be in more kind of traditional clothing rather than the full metalbender uniform here. And it'll be interesting to just see where all these characters are exactly positioned. Seems like Zuko's hair was kind of emphasized to a particular degree here, so not sure what to make of that. But, interesting to just see the different kind of comparisons in terms of what's going on. And then, in front of a snow mountain, which is interesting. So that obviously suggests potentially, you know, I suppose mountain, like, it suggests, like, I suppose, water tribe just with snow, but it could very easily still just be, you know, a mountainous region of the Earth Kingdom during winter, or it could just be like very high up. So how much does that tell us either way? You can't really know for sure here ultimately, but it's interesting that they're going for some sort of a snow aesthetic in some way. Whether or not the background of this shot particularly matters, I'm not really sure, but it's interesting that they did show this. Of course, it would have been great to get this image because then we'd get a look, I suppose, at the style and if there is anything like different about it or anything like that. Because of course, Brian in the last video, which was kind of like the last Avatar Studios update that we got, was kind of getting across the idea that like he sees the advancement in animation from onward from Korra as being less that like they're going to change up the complete style and more that they'll just emphasize kind of, what was it, compositing more, and that the complete package of the animation in terms of almost getting across more of a 3D effect of the scene and stuff like that, that will come across a little bit more. So the actual way the characters are going to look, we still expect it to be the show aesthetic and stuff like that, and in that sense, like a still image that we get probably isn't going to maybe tell us too much about the actual animation style. It's just going to show us the new character designs. There's been a few other reports. I think they're all just roughly based off the images that we've kind of seen before. They just say, you know, as adults, new images of the characters in their 20s. That's really all there is to say on this. Again, they also link the Instagram article, but there's not really much to say about some of the other ones. It does seem like CinemaCon, who actually, I think they say what happened here. Is it like, you know, this stuff is never released to the public. That's where we come in. They'll describe it to us, and that's the situation that we have here. So I guess I'm just going to wrap it up there before I start kind of repeating myself. But in the comments, let me know what your thoughts are on this. A slight tease of like, they at least seem to have some kind of quote unquote, you know, teaser material for the movie. Whether or not we'll see this anytime soon, I don't really have a clue. But it's always interesting to note when this stuff happens, because note like today was when this happened, and compare it to when we do eventually get our first teaser, and then ask the question, did they need to wait as long as they waited between the private reveal here versus the public reveal? And would anything particularly have changed? Because look, fundamentally, they're the characters that we know. It seems like there is nothing that says anything about the plot in this. They don't even name the movie. Just from a sense of goodwill to the fandom, this just feels like show something off to show that Avatar Studios exists and is real. That's my thoughts on this. But let me know in the comments below what you think. But that has been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.